Don't worry, bro. I've got you. I'm gonna save you. I'm not gonna let you bleed out like this. It's okay. Don't worry. All I did was sprain my ankle, man. It's calm. You're not dying on my watch. He's losing a lot of blood. There's no one else here. It's literally, I'm gonna have to do the surgery right now. Are you even trained to do this sort of... oh my... Yo guys, it is your boy Nirin here, and you are watching FTW. This of course is the series where it brings you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, Rihanna and ASAP Rocky announced that she is pregnant with her first child. Pretty drastic measures just to make me jealous, babe, but you know, whatever. Everyone was sharing the news on Instagram stories as if she's gonna send you the scans via DM. You're not on the guest list for the baby shower, I hate to tell you. Oh my god, I'm just so glad I can finally tell everyone about this news as well. Drake is absolutely muddered. He set up camp outside ASAP Rocky's place.
His hair, whack. His gear, whack. The way that he talks, whack. Me, I'm tight.
Turns out the lover boy has lost his certificate. Now, it's been international break in the world of football, so deadline day and transfer news has taken over. Jim White was defrosted and removed from his position alongside the bird's eye packets.
Hi there.
Sky Sports selected their new colour scheme, and Harry Redknapp had whipped his sat-nav out. He was ready to go. Now, lads, I don't know if you know about this cracking little player called Nico Crankier. And it turns out Aubameyang was as well, as the Arsenal striker travelled to Barcelona to complete a loan move to the Catalan side. The problem was, nobody knew he was going. Turns out it was a surprise to both Barca and Arsenal that the Gabonese forward had made the journey there. The man's Peter Odemwingied his way through customs. His agent was probably sat at home watching the news unaware and then sees the story breaking. This man's turned up with an ad board of a CV and complimentary paella at the new camp trying to get his deal done. Surely the people at Arsenal were a little bit suspicious during this ordeal. Pierre, you're not at training. Is everything okay? Oh yeah, no. I'm late at the moment because, yeah, you've left your FaceTime video camera on and you're wearing a Barca shirt. Oh, is that a tunnel that I'm going through? I can see that you're not in a tunnel. What the fuck? Amazon are gonna have to cast someone to play Aubameyang at this rate for all or nothing. He's barely been at the club. Bold of him to try and force a move to Barcelona, though. With what wages? They can barely afford an Amazon Prime subscription to watch the Arsenal documentary. And God knows what his hairline's gonna be saying with the stress of playing over there. But Barca's gain is Arsenal's loss. The Gunners now have a frighteningly thin squad due to January departures. Pierre Emerick Aubameyang, Pablo Mari, Callum Chambers, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Kolasinac and Balogun all out. And with more sales than your local DFS, who's gonna model the new Charity Shield 1963 replica kit now? I mean, they're all fringe players, don't get it twisted. A lot of these players haven't even featured this season. But they're one centre mid injury from Gunnersaurus stepping into the mix. Gonna be choosing the bench as if it's a bingo card. All right, I've got number 84. It says here that's an under-15s player who plays left back. Edu was clearly not paying attention during recruitment meetings, and there's concern for Arsenal up top as well. And Nketiah only scores when there's an energy drink on the line, and Lacazette spends more time whining than scoring.
It's not a joke. Sign some players!
Someone get Thierry Henry back or something. A 47-year-old Sylvain Wiltord could do a job. Even Aaron Ramsdale might have a chance at starting up front. Meanwhile, long-term target Bruno Guimaraes has officially joined Newcastle, and he even found a time to sneak this Arsenal during his transfer announcement. That was a busy week for Everton, who have hired Frank Lampard as their new boss. I can't wait for his first clash on a touchline with Thomas Tuchel. Look, Everton fans know where this is going. The amount of managers they've seen at this club recently. Get the banners prepared already. I always preferred Steven Gerrard. All right, Nan, let's get you back to the home. It's going to be a tough job, but at least he knows what he's in for. Yeah, well, they call this club the Toffees, so I'm hoping for some pretty sweet results. No, but seriously, we're going down. Look, if anything, actually, it's pretty exciting, because at least he's got some reinforcements to help him with the job. Donny van de Beek joined the club from United on loan on deadline day. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be fuming, knowing he's actually playing some football.
I want this man to be no more.
I reckon it takes him time to adjust, to dust off the cobwebs from his shin pads because he's not played. He spent so long focused on training games, he doesn't even realise you don't have to wear a bib in an actual match. I think this will work well, to be honest with you. Again, for him personally, it'd be great to get some game time. He's a great player when a regular and was so influential in Ajax's 2019 Champions League run, but he must have been expecting a higher Premier League finish when he left the Netherlands.
Easy top three. if I'm not 60.
And Dele Alli's also joined the Toffees on a permanent deal after his 7-year Tottenham stint comes to an end. He signs with a please dye that bit of hair blue rather than red clause, which to me is a little bit wordy in the contract, and it's an extra midfielder. So Van der Beek, you're off the bench for 20 whole minutes, sunshine, but back you go. He met up with Frank Lampard shortly after the deal was done, and I can't imagine either of these two saw this coming a few years ago.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought?
Not me.
But at least some of the tactics will be closer to what he's experienced before. In all seriousness though, I mean, Dele Alli and Van der Beek coming in, as well as Frank Lampard as a manager, should definitely be enough for Everton to stay up this season, so I think they'll be fine. Adama Traore is leaving the Premier League. He's signed for Barcelona on loan from Wolves. He's reunited with former Middlesbrough teammate Martin Braithwaite at Barcelona. How did we allow this to happen? You know what? Fuck it. He's aesthetically massive, but has no end product when it counts. And that's what Barcelona as a football club are all about at the moment. Imagine him arriving at training. Fam, he's gonna be bench pressing Pedri. His biceps have experienced more than Gavi has in his entire life. His chest has the structural integrity of a Honda Accord. He apparently took a big pay cut to go to Barcelona instead of going to Tottenham. Got live scenes of his agent trying to convince Adama that Spurs is a good idea.
Chicken in the ball? Is it chicken ball FC?
Being a Tottenham fan honestly should classify as a medical condition. If you're getting your kid to support Tottenham, I'm gonna have to call social services. Daniel Levy's negotiation skills have caused problems again. Tanguy Ndombele is going back to Lyon for less than they signed him for. Imagine him in any other role. Listen to me, let me go. I've got hostages. All right, okay, we'll let you have 50% of the money if you give us 50% of the hostages. Hang on a second, do you not want all of the hostages? Surely that's how this works. If we pay you installments of $1 million every year for 10 years, you can let go one of the hostages out of the back. Spurs also missed out on Colombian winger Luis Diaz as the former Porto man signed for Liverpool. This is a miracle in itself. FSG must have remembered the pin for online banking. We're even trying to sign Fulham youngster Fabio Carvalho before the deadline as well, but unfortunately couldn't get the paperwork done.
Tic-tac. Tic-tac.
Yeah, hang on.
Tic-tac.
Fucking hell, man, I'm trying to do something here. We didn't get it done, and then we allowed Nico Williams to join them on loan. We've been hoodwinked.
It's a scam.
Burnley have signed striker Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg, and this was their announcement video for the 6'6" giant. Imagine Aaron Lennon seeing this geezer in training for the first time.
This is big! This is huge! This is massive!
I reckon the best character arc of this year so far has been Sean Dyche working out what the EU is. English units. No, Sean, no. Meanwhile, Ivan Toney's in hot water this week after being caught out in Dubai slandering his own football club.
Fuck Brentford.
What he actually meant to say was fuck Brentford. Are a well-organised and well-established football club that I respect greatly. Now that we move on from Premier League action for our African Cup of Nations break. The AFCON Final Four have been decided as the competition reaches its climax. Egypt versus Morocco in the quarters was basically a straight-up brawl. I've seen less aggro in an Xbox 360 party, but it was XX_EgyptianKing_XX that had the last laugh, as Egypt came back from behind to win 2-1. It's mad to think, to be honest with you, considering Mo wasn't even there. I'm still not over Eric Bailly's no-look jump penalty from the round before.
What are you playing at?
They play Cameroon in the semis after the hosts beat the Gambia. What a run for the underdogs though. Getting into the final 8 is crazy. A shame a lot of them are stuck in the country though. Seemingly they can't travel back to where they're from because their FA has left them there. You just finished a full 90 minutes and you expected to walk home, is it? Senegal are all the way through to the final after beating Burkina Faso 2-0. Sadio Mane's pleased.
Ali.
But Jurgen Klopp a little less so. Somebody get the false positives out again, mate. But shouts to Burkina Faso. I mean, they knocked out Tunisia. And as a Nigerian man, thank you very much. Elsewhere in international football, there was a hectic qualifier between Brazil and Ecuador, where Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson managed to be sent off twice and not be sent off at all. He received a red card on 2 different occasions for flying out and connecting with Ecuadorian forwards. But both times, VAR overturned the decision. I mean, the Ecuador goalkeeper did the exact exact same. Is everything okay over in South America? Is there childhood trauma that's getting let out here? What's going on? Alisson having both rescinded was pretty impressive though. It's Liverpool even when we're not playing. The United States lost to Canada in World Cup qualifiers 2-0. And I back Canada because their goalkeeper wears jogging bottoms, so you know he's a G. Christian Pulisic was not impressed.
Totally lame to lose 2-0 that way, browski dog out. Later.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. Looking at the starting 11, their manager still picks the squad based off of FIFA 14. At Chile versus Argentina, and the linesman had to improvise when he wasn't provided with a flag and instead had to use a steward's jacket. South Korea have qualified for the World Cup, no doubt thanks to their strong back five, of which everybody is called Kim. You're gonna have Kanye calling saying he misses her soon. Yay, sir, how many times do we have to say, this is a national team? Call me back, goddammit. In Spain, Usman Dembele's future was up in the air on deadline day. He was linked to PSG and his agent accidentally showed the camera his phone receiving a call from the club. Oh no, it would appear as though this important PSG call has now been leaked to the world. If only I could start a bidding war. I'll keep it real, Lionel Messi was ready to leave again if he arrived. He's only just got out of Barcelona having to deal with this moving A&E department. Meanwhile, I dread to think the injury that he picked up when he shook hands with Adama for the first time. Diego Simeone was quoted as saying that it's important that his players make love before games. I don't even know the context of this one. I can't even lie. Breaking news. Mauro Icardi joins Atleti. Former Man City and Barca striker Sergio Aguero is enjoying his retirement. Can't wait for his next skills and goals montage. That was good. Come on, lads. What the fuck? Meanwhile, Gareth Bale has been made a golf ambassador for a brand this week. He's actually taken the piss. In France, and it's been a disappointing week for Paris Saint-Germain as OGC Nice kicked them out of the French Cup. They lost in a penalty shootout where 38-year-old defender Dante scored a penenka, and OGC Nice's goalkeeper Martin Bulka, who's on loan from PSG, celebrated the victory by knee sliding in front of his parent club's fans. It's a shithousery award for the Polish shot stopper. Maurizio Pochettino might be a fraud. He's missed out on 4 trophies in a job where they're basically reserved by default. That's like not turning up to a pre-booked meal 4 times in a row. Lionel Messi's stats for the season are interesting viewing. TV channels are even showing how much he's hit the post. This guy is down bad. He's really in good form. We've got 36 instances of him dreaming about scoring here. St. Etienne's new signing, Yoris Nanon, was mistaken for a security guard upon arrival at the club after arriving 20 kilograms overweight. Man said they thought he was a bouncer. I would not have this. Meanwhile, 44-year-old centre-back Hilton, who left Montpellier recently, has joined a side in the 3rd tier of French football. Our goal of the week this time, though, comes all the way from Brazil. I believe it's in the lower leagues of Brazil, so we've really had to dig into the depths to find this one. But it's an absolute banger from Wiseman or Wisman, I don't know how you say it. But a flick over the defender and an insane volley from distance. In Germany, and Bayern manager Julian Nagelsmann told the story of how his wife sometimes catches him talking about players that he's bringing off and tactics that he's sorting out in his sleep. There's something going on here. I just know that he's cheating on me. Now, Corentin, hear me out here. If I was to deploy you as a slightly deeper playmaker rather than more of a roaming one, I think you'd really get the best out of your long-range passing. Meanwhile, former Werder Bremen boss Marcus Anfang has been banned from football for a year after using a fake COVID-19 certificate. I guess you can call him Marcus Banfang now. Come on. And what do you mean that was good as well? Hello all and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Close to home, and Phil Foden's got a new style. Yeah, look, listen, this guy's going straight to the top. At Sunderland, a One Fan TV channel, Don, managed to get an exclusive for them signing Jermaine Defoe by standing outside the training ground and spotting him arriving in a car, jumping in and grabbing an interview with him.
Chris, Jermaine Defoe in the back. Jermaine Defoe's in the back. Here he is. Jermaine, you glad to be coming?
What do you think?
Oh, it's Jermaine Defoe's in the back. There he is. We're live. We're live on SCFC Fan TV. Do you remember for see you lads? See ya. There you go. So bad, everyone. There you go.
At Sheffield Wednesday, and one fan pretending that Hasbullah was a family member managed to get the internet sensation onto the big screen at the stadium. Michael Jacobs of Portsmouth provided perhaps one of the greatest assists you're ever gonna do, slipping over, heading the ball on the ground through an opponent's legs to his teammate. Not being funny, but can you play striker? If so, Arsenal might well need. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's daughter made her debut for Manchester United's women's team this week, making them the first ever father-daughter duo to both play for the club. And at Oxford, Cameron Brannigan scored 4 goals in 1 game as his side scored 7 in total. The weird thing about this one, though, is that all 4 of them were penalties. In Brazil, and Villanova's goalkeeper's been done dirty by the weather here. Staying in Brazil, and we've got a guy attempting a nutmeg and it going horribly wrong. The man's been Uno reverse carded here. Ghana's Premier League Manager of the Month was announced as Azare Bediako this week. He managed to win the award and be sacked in the same month, which is very impressive. In Mexico, and Puebla versus Tijuana had some interesting onlookers in the UK futsal scene, and this might be the best first touch you're ever gonna see. Meanwhile, there was a familiarly named goal scorer in South America, Roberto Baggio. Great to see that penalty that he took for Italy has finally landed in a goal somewhere. Now, the next story is a pretty wild one. It's also very controversial going on in Scotland right now at Raith Rovers. Now, they have re-signed a striker by the name of David Goodwillie, who used to play for the club a while ago. He's not been involved in the game for a while. That's because he was convicted of rape charges. So he was actually found guilty beforehand, against the advice of anyone in the game of football or anyone with morals whatsoever. Raith Rovers have decided to sign him back again. Now, this has led to staff around the club, including the stadium announcer, resigning. It's also made the club's women's side feel very uncomfortable. Their club captain, who'd been there for 10 years, has left the club rightfully over the situation. So hopefully they, as a club, see the light here. Because whilst there'll be an argument of some people to say, oh, deserves a second chance or whatever, having a second chance which then influences young people and sees you heralded as a goal-scoring hero is probably not what should be happening in the world of football. As I go to upload this video, they have overturned the decision, which is great, but it's a bit of a concern that it needed a discussion in the first place. But an uplifting story in the women's game comes from the Philippines, who have qualified for the Women's World Cup proper for the first time in their history. But now, boys and girls, it's time for the Fng Transfer Roundup. Welcome one and all to the January deadline day special transfer roundup, the last place to hear the news. No, really, you've even heard the big transfer stories already in this video. This really is the last place. At non-league side Lewis and Ollie Tanner turned down a move to Tottenham this week, despite playing in a division currently 6 tiers below. There's no punchline. That's funny enough in its own right. Elsewhere in London, and Chelsea failed to sign anybody. They couldn't even find the effort to bring back a player they already own in on-loan left-back Emerson. Our next story comes from Newcastle, who have brought in Brighton defender Dan Burn. The deal is reportedly worth £15 million, and Eddie Howe is quoted as saying, "Fuck me, he's tall." At Sky Sports, and there was a distinct lack of purple dildos. And finally, striker Dusan Vlahovic made his deal to Juventus a reality, joining the Italian giants for €60 million, with €11.6 million in agent fees. I don't even get 11.6 actual pounds for doing this job, which reminds me, can I have some food? If anyone, please, I can't go till August not eating again. Has anyone got the number for HR? Over in Denmark, and top tier side Odense had an interesting way of announcing their most recent signing. We've seen plenty of pitch invading dogs in this series, but none quite as stubborn as this one from Brazil, who's unwilling to even move from right wing back. Meanwhile, there's low budget football, and then there's making your substitute sit on plastic chairs. Now though, it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football, and we have got a beautiful, beautiful clip this week. Over at Leigh United, who are 3-2 down in a local derby in a Sunday League or amateur game even. It's the 90th minute, they've got nothing to lose, and they send their goalkeeper up for a corner. Up step Dominic Jolly, who doesn't just score, but provides a bicycle kick to salvage a point for his side. Come on!
Come on!
Even the club and the player himself knew he was going to feature this week. On to the weird stuff though now. In an international game between Guyana and Barbados, the game had to be suspended halfway through after it became apparent that players from Barbados had tested positive for COVID. How do you work that out halfway through a game? Look, I know you're defending this free kick. Do you mind just quickly doing a lateral flow? Egyptian and Galatasaray forward Mustafa Mohamed has been caught in controversy this week after his friend was arrested for taking exams in his place. Mustafa is currently a student at the Medina Academy Higher Institute, and because he's away on African Cup of Nations duty, he asked his friend to take the exams for him. And finally, there's a beautiful story in El Salvador. A fan by the name of Hugo Alvarado spent a decade searching for players on Google who were eligible to play for El Salvador. These are players that are born or have heritage in the country but aren't recognized as necessarily being of El Salvadorian nationality. He managed to send these over to the FA of El Salvador, and after a while, they just gave him a job. And yeah, he actually does this full time now. There's people in the current national team starting 11 that he found by searching them online. But that is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.